Even if you're a casual baseball fan, you probably know that 1998 was a crucial year for the game of baseball. This year had it all: milestones, expansion teams, and so much more. The bottom line is that history was made in 1998. The Yankees won a then AL record 114 games, the league expanded to 30 teams, and last but certainly not least, Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were mashing home runs seemingly every night. Let's break it all down, but first, let's rewind the tape. Before we do that, let me introduce myself. I'm Cam23, a baseball content creator who focuses on biographies and baseball history as a whole. I would like to thank Top of the Order for having me narrate the video today, and make sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to his channel. With that being said, let's get back to the video. The year is 1994. The Montreal Expos, typically considered a losing organization, have the best record in the league. Tony Gwynn has a .394 batting average and a legitimate shot at reaching 400. NBA legend Michael Jordan is playing in AA and has a chance to get called up to the Major League roster. With all this, it's no surprise that baseball is at an all-time high in terms of popularity. Ticket sales peaked in 1994, and with a 73% capacity per game, it just beat out 1993. It's a number that wasn't exceeded until 2007. The chill summer vibe of the 1990s in America was something to behold. Commissioner of Baseball at the time, Fay Vincent, had been voted out of office. Bud Selig would step in as commissioner. But then on August 12th, everything stopped. The MLB Players Association called for a strike, and 232 days would come and go before another Major League game was played. The following year, attendance dropped an astounding 15%, the largest in history, according to data from the 1950s and on. In the eyes of fans, they saw greedy players and owners and no baseball being played. They didn't see baseball as a fun summer pastime as it had been previously. To them, it was billionaires fighting over millions in the common man's sport. The next few years after 1995 saw a slight increase in attendance, but nothing like 1998. The season started as typical as any other, but with time the excitement intensified. The die-hard baseball fans and casuals alike witnessed two of the greatest power hitters alive, Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds, entering their primes. But nobody could have predicted what would soon take place. Entering the season, the Tampa Bay Rays and Arizona Diamondbacks entered the league. The Milwaukee Brewers also moved from the American League to the National League. One of the biggest disappointments came from a relatively new team, the Florida Marlins, who would follow up their World Series championship with a last-place finish in the NL East and lost 108 games. But of course, baseball's biggest story was the three-player competition to winning the home run title. But not just winning it, the three players duking it out were attempting to break a 37-year-old record held by the Yankees' Roger Maris. During April and May, Mark McGwire led the chase for all but 2 games. He hit an astonishing 16 long balls in May and 2 short of the all-time record for a single month. After May, McGwire had 27, easily leading the league, while Griffey had 19, quite a ways away. Sosa, however, wasn't even a thought, as he had a slightly above average 13 home runs. June would be his month to catch up. He successfully broke the home runs in a single season record with 20 round trippers, a record that still stands today. This tied him with Griffey at 33, and only 4 behind Big Mac. Funny enough, this nickname for McGwire came during the latter half of the 98 season. It was, as you guessed, an ad for McDonald's and Big Macs.
Did somebody say McDonald's? Oh, and you better make that to go.
The ad featured McGwire and Sosa, but the nickname only stuck with the former, because come on now, McGwire to Mac is anything but a stretch. The commercial became iconic, and the famous Big Mac Land sign shown in the ad is still currently in left field at Busch Stadium. All 3 players made the All-Star game, with Griffey and McGwire both participating in the Home Run Derby, held at Coors Field in Colorado. McGwire had an extremely disappointing run, placing 8th out of 10. Griffey, in his iconic backwards hat, stole the show, as he blasted 19 home runs and won the competition. During August, McGwire saw his longest home run drought of the season, going 8 games without a dinger. Up until late August, McGwire saw his worst slump, but that changed on the 19th, when he hit 2 homers and would hit 23 in his last 39 games. At this point, Griffey had fallen out of the race completely. He had 46, McGwire had 54, and Sosa had 55. This was the first time Sosa had the lead in the competition, but it didn't last long. Griffey finished the season with 56 home runs, easily a career high. Sosa went on a tear to begin September, hitting 4 home runs in 2 games against the previously mentioned Florida Marlins. Sosa in the first 4 games hit 3 homers, but that still left him 1 behind Mark, who left the yard again in the middle of a 3-game series against the Reds. After this, the stage was set for possibly the most iconic series in regular season history. It was only a 2-game set, but the Cardinals vs. Cubs series became must-see TV. The ones responsible for scheduling this series a year prior couldn't have predicted the McGwire vs. Sosa matchup that couldn't have been scripted better. Sosa didn't have his best series, but McGwire capitalized, homering in both games. If you're having trouble keeping up, it's a lot to manage. The second of those homers tied Roger Maris's record of 61 home runs. The rest of the way was mostly smooth sailing for Mark McGwire. He ended September with 15 homers, leaving him with what many thought to be an untouchable record. Barry Bonds would like to have a word with me after that last sentiment. Through all the home run chaos, what was Barry doing during the season? He hit just 37 homers, one of the lowest totals of his career. Sosa ended up with 66. While it did beat Maris's record, it wasn't good enough to beat Big Mac. The 1998 season accomplished everything Major League Baseball desperately needed. Fans had a reason to come to the ballpark every night to watch history being made. Home runs became cool again, and the publicity that came from this season is hard to fathom. The year shaped a new generation of baseball fans. Unfortunately, these fans were in for a real surprise. After countless accusations surrounding PEDs, players started to be tested for the performance-enhancing drugs during the 2003 season. McGwire, after repeatedly denying these accusations, eventually admitted to using androstenedione. If I got that remotely close to being pronounced right, let me know in the comments down below. Sosa maintains his claim that he never used PEDs, however, he was named along with McGwire in the 2007 Mitchell Report, calling out the players who were using PEDs. The accusations, coupled with both players denying the claims, has put a damper on the excitement that once was associated with Sosa and McGwire's home run chase. They went from 2 of the most beloved players in the league to some of the most hated. Despite this, baseball fans will always remember the 1998 season for the summer nights that saved baseball. If you'd like to see a much more in-depth and professional documentary about the 1998 season, check out ESPN's 30 for 30 titled Long Gone Summer. It's incredible and will fill in the gaps that we didn't talk about during this video. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts on the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. Thanks again to Top of the Order for having me narrate today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.